Seems legit.
Hello Legitimates and welcome back to my channel. Today I have hacked the Pouchles to turn it into a boxed corner, clear and jelly vinyl zipper pouch. This jelly vinyl is from Mizen's new collection and she does matching zipper pulls, which I absolutely love. So I just hacked this. I kind of just made it up as I went along, but it worked out really well. So we get this little piece here with the clear window. Now, one thing I do want to say, lots of people have told me they have issues with tension with the jelly vinyl. I think my machine is magic because I haven't changed it from my original settings and it just does it. So unfortunately, I won't be able to answer any questions about tension because I didn't change mine. Mine just works as is. But if you want to see how to sew it, let's go. So I've got a normal Pouchel lining piece in clear and then one in the jelly roll. And I've got a cool accent piece. Now we're not going to tuck it under, so it'll sit a little bit higher than the originals. I've also cut two zipper ends. So they are just squares that I will fold over and top stitch over. So the zipper won't be in the seam. So I'm going to do it with this one so that you can see better. We're going to take this and we're just going to have it slightly smaller than the top so that our seam allowance is to the side. And then I'm going to take the zipper pull. Now this is the one that matches, so there's a link for this down below. So I'm just going to crack the zip a little bit, thread one side and then the other side and push hopefully evenly. Nope, not evenly. Doesn't always happen first time. I'm out by one tooth, but it's going to annoy me, so we're just going to have at it until I get it right. Better, right? The zipper's now on. So I'm going to take these. Now, if you want to, you can add double-sided tape, but you don't have to. You can do it a couple of ways. You can put one big thick bit between, like down the center, or you can put two bits at the edge like this. And then this will hold from the top and the bottom. I'm just doing it this way to show you that there are other ways. If you don't have the thick 3/4 inch tape, you can do it this way. I personally love my thick 3/4 inch tape, but each to their own. So now I've got it top and bottom. I'm going to peel off the backing. And then I'm going to hold it so it's pretty much in line with itself and then just shove the zipper in and stick it down. And so the piece at the top and the bottom are now holding the top and the bottom. Because it is so little, I wasn't super worried about which way is correct. It's not going to make a difference unless you've got the Hogwarts logo on there. And even then, it's such a small amount, probably nobody will know. So I'm now going to, on a 4 stitch length, all the way up to 4, I'm going to stitch, back stitch, over. I am going to back stitch because you're going to see this. There's no lining. So we want it to be neat and we want it to stay. Okay. Zipper done. Then I'm going to take my clear piece and my accent piece and I'm just going to line it up. Now, if you want to, you can put double-sided tape here. Stitch, back stitch, line it up along the bottom, and I'm just going to top stitch it down. And then when I get to the end, I'm going to back stitch. Now this is all about raw edges, so you want to make sure that your edges are pretty. You can stick that down if you want to. I think I'm okay. So, find the center, and this is one of those few times where we're not going to clip it because you're going to see it. So we just have to put a clip on there rather than snip a hole. Don't snip a hole. All right, in the center. I'm going to put one on each side so that I can find it later. And it depends, I don't think it matters which side the zipper is, because it'll depend on if you want to hide the insides or not. And I don't think I do, so I'm just going to do it this way. But again, you can do it however you want. And you can see here that it does stop outside of the end seam allowance. That is a deliberate choice. So now I am just going to, I might go back to a 3. And I'm just going to stitch, back stitch. Okay, I'm going to move the zipper pull because it obviously is going to get in my way. And then I'm going to go back so it's out of the way. And I'm going to get to the end here and back stitch to lock it all in. Then fold that under so it's pretty. And we're going to fold over that edge as well. And then we're going to top stitch all the way along so that that whole section is now pretty. So stitch, back stitch. And we have to make the edges pretty because you're going to see everything. There's no lining to hide behind. Everything has to look its best. And then back stitch to lock in the stitches. So that's one side. Then I'm going to take the other side and do the same thing. So I've already got the center of that, so I'm going to find the center of this. And then this one does have a right and a wrong way because of this. So just make sure that you do that. If it's a clear piece, it won't matter. But I didn't do clear, so just a thought. Stick it on. Because it's clear, I can stitch it this side up, although it doesn't really matter. You can do it however you like. Stitch, back stitch. Again, get your zipper out of the way because it's trying to distort the beautiful work that is my sewing, which is very rude. And then when I get close to it, we'll just zip it back out of the way. And then when we get to the end here, we will back stitch. Now I'm using the Tex 45, not my normal M40, which is like Tex 70. I'm going to fold this over. See, so you'll see all of this. That's why we want it neat. Probably could have done it a different way, but this is the way I feel like doing this. And I haven't cut out a base piece, even though it's a Pouchles. It's the Pouchles pieces. But what I'm going to do instead is we're going to... this bending is quite tricky. I've used a really thick vinyl. So if you're having issues, just heat it up with a hairdryer. Or you can struggle through like I am. It would be easier to have a hairdryer handy. Not gonna lie. And then when we get to the end, back stitch. Now with the Pouchles pattern, there's a base piece that you add in, but I have decided that instead we are going to just box the bottom of it. So to do that, we need a ruler and preferably an erasable pen. So that because it's clear, you don't want to see these marks. So we're going to go, I'm going to do 1.5 inches from the bottom corner. So that's 1.5 that way, 1.5 that way. And that's what I'm going to cut off. Now if you leave a little bit of the pen, it won't matter because it'll wipe off. Then I can flip this over And you can just copy this on all 4 corners if you want to, or you can measure them all. I mean, each to their own. This way is kind of cool. At least I know they'll be the same. So even if I botched up the measurements on the first one, as long as I cut all the corners the same, we should be fine. So again, up and in. So this will make it shorter. And 1.5 is a fairly large chunk, but I want it to be able to be full of stuff. You can also, instead of drawing it, just copy around it like this. Now this side's going to be thicker because you've got the clear vinyl as well as the jelly vinyl. Like that. And like that. So now we're actually just going to have a little bit. I'm not mad though. I think this is going to look fantastic. You don't have to do such a big base. I'm having this really chunky so that it's for the biggest stuff. I'm going to throw all them out. Because these are the set, if you saw the video yesterday, you will see that that's what I've got going on. So I want this to be like a set. I'm just going to do 1/4 inch seam and a stitch, back stitch. So the pellucid pouches that I did are great for like little small things. The idea of this is for the chunky stuff, which is why I made the base so big. You don't have to do 1.5. That is quite a lot, I know that. But it's really only 1.25 once we take away the seam allowance. Alright, stitch, back stitch, and I just ran out of bobbin thread. That was pretty perfect timing. It gave me like this little tail. I definitely ran 1 bobbin rule at that time. Let's do the other side. I like to stitch bottom to top. That's just me. You don't have to do that, obviously. And I'm still on a 3 stitch length, not 2.5. Because it is vinyl, I just want them that little bit bigger while still being quite holdy. I know holdy's not really a word. It's fine. We also want to make sure that we make all of our stitches as neat as possible because everything's going to be seen. So this is what we've got so far. Now we're just going to box out those corners. So I'm going to make sure that because this side's thicker, that's going to want to fold that way. So we're going to fold that one that way, and then this one's going to go the opposite way just to help that seam sit flatter, like so. If you need to add a clip, that middle section's not going to be my friend. And then we're going to very neatly stitch and back stitch and back stitch, keeping in mind that everything's going to be seen. So because of that, I'm going to grab my vinyl cutting scissors because there's layers and I need something sharp, and I'm just going to trim that down so it's as pretty and as minimal as possible without getting so close that it'll accidentally come undone. We don't want that. Then let's do the other side. So again, we want this seam here to go the same direction for both. So we're going to push the other side in the opposite direction, keeping this seam and that seam lined up in the middle. Grab a clip. And then we're going to stitch. So I'm going to start on stitch, back stitch to make them as neat as possible again. Stitch and back stitch. Trim off the tails. This is one of those times where you really want to make sure that you're cutting off your tails. They will be seen otherwise. You want them neat and fabulous. And then again, I'm just going to cut this down so it looks its best. Now this is it's going to be quite a decent base. And this turning will work better with a hairdryer. And I might need one, but we'll see. When it's warmer, it's easier to turn. But I'm also stubborn and I don't like to lose. So that's why we're trying it without it first. You can see it is super, it's noisy. Like an ASMR moment. Alright, I think the hairdryer is probably needed now. I can't... Oh, wait. Yes. Okay, I got one corner out. And I've got the bottom. Okay, so I've got the corner and one bottom. It can be done. This would be way quicker with a hairdryer, but you have to be careful you don't make it too hot or you're going to burn yourself when you touch it. You're going to find like a balance. Nearly there. Just this last little bit in the corner. So I'm going to roll it and pinch it. And I might even use my pokey stick for the last little bit. And it is exactly that, like a tiny little bit. It's just this little bit here. But it's important to get it right. And push that edge out. Like so. And voila. It needs a little bit of maneuvering. So that big end, that big bottom, because we've done such a wide bottom, now you've just got like a tiny little bit here and you can see all the way in your pouch. Now the zipper at the top looks dodgy. See how it's a bit meh? That's not your sewing. That is partially because I haven't pushed this corner out. You want them to stick out nicely. That's why we did them. We get nice crispy edges. That helps. Actually, that helped a lot. Look how much better the zipper is just by turning out that corner. But also, like it's plastic. It needs to be guided to where it needs to be. But that is super cute. Really quick, really fun. So you could have it this way, or you could fill it full of treats and then you can see it on the inside while still having a very cool pouch. So those are designed to go with the pellucid pouches as a complete set. And I love it. And I am sending it as a gift to someone. Thanks for joining. I hope that was fun. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!